Alright, hey guys. This was What If Deku Was Lucifer's Son, part 2, because I was scrolling through my channel and saw that this had like over 200 views. I was like, oh, cool, well, I guess people like it, apparently, even though 12 people commented, and I am making Bakugo a girl, to my dismay, and someone else's who apparently agrees with me that it works and it's fine, and whatever. I will turn him into a girl just because at least 10 people wanted it. It could have been the same 6 people either way. A group of people, at least 10 as I could count via how many people liked and agreed with comments that said turn him into a girl. So I'll do that to my dismay. I don't want to, but I will. So anything that I said gay in the last bit, scratch that off. The whole bet scene is off, even though I really like that idea. Where like they bet on what their kids will be. It just makes me laugh thinking about it because it's something my family would do. The beach scene was a little more romantic. Bakugo is a girl, so she, I guess I'll say from now on, or try to say. I might screw up every now and again and call him again. God damn it, I'm doing it already. She, female Bakugo. Alright, let's do this. We left off with literally the entrance exam. And, Deku, not Deku, Izuku, or, Izuku, who's walking with Bakugo as he's kind of just following him all around out of boredom. Oh god, I'm tired. They're talking, and Bakugo, she says, what kind of hobbies do you have? Asking questions to try to get him know him a little better, and Izuku responds with, besides killing people and torturing them, and she goes, okay, terrible hobbies, but continue. Well, I guess I like ice cream, watching games, and playing games, and fighting. And she goes, yeah, pretty much boy stuff. Okay, and, he goes, okay, so what do you like? And she goes, pretty much the same stuff you like except for the torture and murder. And he goes, huh, so you're a tomboy. And she goes, I guess. He goes, cool. They continue walking. Did I get that right? Tomboy or tomgirl? I probably fucked that, whatever. God, I'm stupid. I am super stupid. Okay, continuing. They walk. They get to UA. And Izuku's just there, he's just kind of taking the test and stuff. He doesn't have a school seating, so he just sits with Bakugo. The two of them chat up a storm. Ida stands up. YouTube been very rude, blah, blah, blah. Yells at President Mike for making a mistake in UA paper. Then President Mike explains the 0-pointers. Everything happens. Deku does not trip. He doesn't distract Uraraka, so him and Ida don't have that confrontation. President Mike says go, and Izuku drops his robe, and his giant black wings flap open. And he starts soaring in the sky, and everyone's looking up, just seeing this dude with wings. And then his tail unravels across his body, and his horns start growing to full size. And all of a sudden, he's covered in black fire, and he rockets off like a flaming arrow. And he burns half the city, and just, like, if he was, like, doing this with real people in the city, he'd literally have killed, like, 800 civilians. He destroyed half the side of the thing in black fire, and it's melted, molten metal and concrete, and, it's horrific, and everyone who can see it, including the heroes, are literally horrified. And, Nezu leashes the 0-pointer, and Izuku turns, smiling, as he uses magic to make himself the same size as the 0-pointer, walking over to it, cracking his knuckles, and smiles, and goes, this should be easy. As the 0-pointer punches him in the face, catching him off guard, he laughs, rubbing the blood from his nose. I almost said that backwards. Licks his thumb off after licking the blood, smiles, punching a hole through the robot in one punch, literally holding the robot's power core, which is basically like he ripped its heart through its other side, and he just crushes it. Shrinks back to size, the robot falls, and he walks away with a total of 400 points. But they take away 200 because of all the collateral damage he would have caused. Either way, he still got, from 400, he still has 200 points. Bakugo gets the same as in canon, over 100 points. And, Aizawa is, dumbstruck that this kid has that much power to wipe out half a city. And take out a zero-pointer with such ease. And, a lot of the students were scared of Izuku's, form with his wings and everything. Bakugo and Izuku, they're sitting in Bakugo's room, and she's watching videos of All Might, and Izuku's curled up in a ball with his wings over him, trying to sleep. They knock on the door. It's Bakugo's mom. She hands them their letters. They get them. They open them. They read it. Bakugo sees All Might, and she's like ecstatic, And he goes, "Well done, young Bakugo. You've made it in the second place." And then she goes, "Second place? Who got in front of me?" And as Izuku's opening his, he hears, "Well done, Izuku." Apparently that's your only name written down. You got over 200 points, beating my record. Well done indeed. UA will be honored to have you. Though your destructive capability needs to be toned down a little in case there's ever real civilians. And Bakugo looks at him going, "How many robots did you actually take out?" And Izuku responds with, 427. And she goes, great, 427. What numbers were they? And he goes, 0 pointers. They took away a lot of my points. And the 27 that I took out, well, they didn't count because they didn't see it. And she goes, how did you know you took them out? And he goes, I saw the robot fall on top of them. Doesn't that count? Bakugo goes, okay, I guess it does. And so she goes, technically you got 427 points. And he goes, yep. And she's impressed. Like, literally, straight up dumbstruck that he had over, technically, 400 people that he wiped out. Basically wiped out a small, and you could barely call it that, a small army. And they go to school. And Aizawa yells at everybody for talking in the hallway. Izuku's head's down on the desk with his horns out. Bakugo's sitting in front of him. He's asleep, so she turns around in a chair playing with his hair. Eraserhead does the whole, if you're here to make friends, you shouldn't be here at all. Stands up, says, put these on. And Izuku wakes up, and Bakugo quickly pulls her hand away. And he goes, what were you doing? And she goes, nothing. And he goes, were you drawing on my face? And she goes, that's a good idea, but no. He growls, walks off. She follows him. They go to their changing room. She goes with the rest of the girls. And Izuku's left alone in his changing room with the rest of the guys as he's trying to remove his shirt. It's a bit of a struggle with his wings. Because he has to fold them, pull them through the holes in the shirt. He's struggling. So Kirishima walks over and helps him. And he goes, thanks. And Kirishima goes, no problem. I always help anyone who's in need. And Izuku smiles, going, yep, so do I. And, he continues changing, and they see a bunch of scars all over his body. A couple of them looking almost purple in color. Some are red, some are fresh, and still blood on him. And they ask why is he bleeding? And he goes, oh, the scars never close. And they all look at him going, so you're in constant pain? And he goes, pretty much. And they go, how are you not dead from the pain? And he goes, no clue, just not. And he puts his shirt on and walks off. And the other guys in the room, jaws are on the floor as they see that dude's body is still bleeding. And every cut on his body will not close because of the way he was made into a demon. For those of you who are like, humans can't become demons, first of all, shame on you for thinking that. Because we are the closest thing to demons as the human nature can allow. We kill each other, we hate each other, we do inappropriate things to each other. We're practically demons. Plus, Lucifer, made the demons like God made the angels, you know, but with a lot more whips and fire. But we start off with him out in the group, and Aizawa walks over going, "Here, throw this, and don't hold back." Izuku looks at him going, "Don't hold back?" And he goes, "Yep." He goes, "Okay, you asked for it." And he rears back, and he throws the ball, and it shoots off into space, and it goes past Saturn, past the sun, and continues going. And it literally exits the Milky Way. And, you know, Aizawa just calls it infinity. Everyone drops their jaws. Everyone else gets the same. Bakugo gets 70, which is the highest one behind Izuku's and Uraraka's. Why do I say it with an accent? Uraraka's. Then the side lunges. He goes so fast that he leaves cracks in the ground, like, so deep that, like, if someone was to stand in his footprints, the ground would be up to your kneecap. Like, that's how fast he was moving. He was pushing the dirt down so fast that he actually got stuck once. You know, Aizawa clocks his speed over Mach 30, and then they do the race, and he blitzes Ida, getting 0.0000000.1, which is 1 microsecond. Basically, around Mach, I think 200 is 1 kilometer, but I don't know my math. It's just what to say. Yeah, like Mach 200. It's faster than All Might, which Aizawa can't believe. Grip strength test. He snaps the thing in half. Takes another one, snaps it. He ends up crushing 4 of them. 2 in both hands, showing that both his hands are able to crush pretty much steel. The strafe jumps, or the long jumps, he just flies up in the air and counts it as infinity. Basically, he comes in first place, dominating everyone. He's holding back in most of it, too. Except for the ball throw, he held back in pretty much all of it. You know, and Aizawa, he literally thinks about expelling the entire class and just keeping this one kid. Because this kid is stronger than every student and every teacher in the entire UA Academy. Including All Might, according to Aizawa's own personal judgment. And All Might, who's watching, because he recognized the kid when he was in the booths with the other teachers, after he bumped into him on the streets in the last part, you know, decided to keep an eye on him. And All Might is dumbstruck, you know, and he thinks maybe he gave the quirk to him, and he's like, "No, there's no way, I still have it." You know, and I gave it to Muriel. I believe I give it to Muriel. Either way, he did. So Izuku, you know, smiles. The cavalry battle happens the next day. They go to school the next day. Him and Bakugo have their lovely chats, and Izuku falls asleep again. All Might runs in. Izuku's not impressed. Just thinks of him as another human. The rest of the class is ecstatic, except for Todoroki. Izuku recognizes this. Figures that the kid doesn't find him as appealing as everyone else. Laughs to himself. All Might says fight training. Izuku's ears pop up and his head sits up, and he goes, "Good." And he goes, "How many people do we get to kill?" And All Might goes, "No one. This is purely an exercise. You won't kill or hurt anyone." And Izuku puts his head down going, "No fun." Bakugo turns around, hitting him in the horn, and he gets kind of annoyed by this. It hurt. It's like taking a rubber band and flicking your ear with it. Like pulling it back as far as it would go right before it breaks and snapping your ear with it. And, you know, so in the battle, it's him and Uraraka versus Bakugo and Ida. Girl, boy. And Bakugo is kind of terrified as she knows Izuku's an actual legitimate demon and the son of Lucifer. So she's very terrified. Ida's terrified, but not as much as she is, because she knows if he wanted to, he could pretty much destroy any person on Earth, as he has been known to kill heroes in the past, according to himself. And, you know, she shouldn't find that attractive, but she kind of does. She does the same thing he does in canon, running around the corner, making a giant explosion. He just tanks it like a boss with his wings open so Uraraka doesn't get hit by it. and he just slaps her across the room. She goes through a couple walls, stands up, gets annoyed, charges at him, and remembers that he got really hurt when she barely tapped his horn. So she runs, grabbing it over his head, pulling on it, and she breaks one of his horns. And he screams out in pain, falling to the ground on one knee. And he gets angry, and his eyes start glowing red. And she gets kind of worried about this. And then black fire starts to swell across the building. She grabs Uraraka, jumping out the window, and he bursts into an explosion that breaks the whole building. And Ida's in like the very top floor, falling down through the building. No one catches him. He falls. He breaks his, we'll say, his femur. Ow. And Izuku is losing control because his horn. It's a disgrace if you lose your horn. Basically, in hell, you lose your horn. If you lose both your horns, you lose your privilege to go back to hell permanently. And he just lost one of his horns, and they didn't grow back. And so he's angry. He's just in full rage mode. He's destroying the city. And All Might really is wondering what's going on. And All Might goes down. Eventually, all of the pro heroes that are in the school and end up getting called away from their classes. President Mike, Eraserhead, All Might, even Nezu's there. And they're trying to hold off Izuku, who's tossing them around like rag dolls. All Might eventually grabs him, holding him. And Izuku flaps his wings open, pushing All Might all the way through a couple buildings. Turning around, slapping Aizawa in the forehead, literally sending him through buildings after building after building. And Nezu tries to calm him down, and Izuku flicks Nezu in the forehead, and he goes flying across the city. That's when the Class 1B teacher, the guy who does the blood thing, forces Izuku onto the wall, and Izuku starts eating his way through it, and he's eating goopy blood, and as he's Class 1B teacher is terrified by this, Izuku smiles with blood dripping out of his mouth, with his fangs rearing at him, and he lunges, biting his neck, right by his jugular, about to kill him before All Might uppercuts him, sending him flying through a couple buildings. And Izuku's upset, he's swinging around his arms. He's literally, it's like the battle with All Might and All for One, but in the fight place. Bakugo has carried Uraraka and Ida by herself back, and Todoroki intervenes, coming down, freezing Izuku, thinking it would hold him shut. He smiles, breaks the ice apart, and his arm is frozen. It shatters as it starts to grow back, and it grows back first the bone marrow, then the bone, then the muscles, then the flesh, then his nails. Then you could see his skin comes back from gray to normal skin tone as he swings, uppercutting Todoroki straight into the air. And that's when Endeavor comes flying in, catching Todoroki, landing and throwing Hellfire, which is what his quirk's called, right? I believe, into Izuku's face, which actually calms him down a little. And All Might sees this and goes, Endeavor, whatever you just did, do it again, a lot. And he continues, and he starts doing that blue flame that he did on the No Moon cannon. And Izuku starts, his horn, the only one that's left, starts shrinking. His wings start folding, and he falls to his knees, unconscious. And, he straight up gets contained. He's locked up with 80 chains around him. He has more security than All for One did, and he's locked to the ground in a room of pitch black, and they're devastated. He nearly killed 6 heroes and badly injured Aizawa and Principal Nezu, who's in a cast from his feet up to his neck. He can't move at all because he broke almost every bone in his body. Yep, it's getting that bad. And they brought Bakugo in for questioning because she knew him, and All Might goes, if you know something, you have to tell us. That kid nearly wiped out every teacher in UA. And that's when she goes, he's not a kid, he's not even human. And All Might goes, what? And she goes, never mind, I'm not supposed to tell you. And he goes, what is he then? And she goes, he's a demon, he's the son of Lucifer. All Might goes, what? Say that again? And she goes, Lucifer's his father, adopted, And I think I'm the reason he got angry. And, oh my gosh, that was him angry. And she goes, yeah, I broke off his horn. I don't know what it means to him, but apparently it's enough to piss him off. And, All Might walks into Izuku's chained up room, looking at him in the eyes, going, are you a demon? And Izuku laughs, going, demons aren't real. So All Might brings in holy water from a church and splashes it on Izuku's skin. And because of, you're like, he's human. He can't be affected by holy water. Well, he can because he's been spending time in hell. And I can say so. So, screw off. No offense. Just don't leave those comments. Even though no one has. But, and it burns his skin, and All Might literally gets back in fear, thinking, holy crap, he is a demon. He is the son of Lucifer. And Lucifer can sense his son's in trouble, so out of nowhere, a black portal starts appearing on the wall behind Izuku, and out comes Daddy Lucifer, with his beautiful white wings and golden hair, smiling. As he sees Izuku's chained up, his smile immediately turns into an angry, upset face. And All Might's like, stay back. And Lucifer goes, who did this? As Izuku, when a holy water is put on the demon, it pretty much kills them, but Izuku's not full demon yet, so it's practically nearly killing him, and he's like straight up in pain. And this is the fun fact that this is why I mentioned this earlier. Because demons' wounds don't heal, like they don't close, they can regenerate limbs, but their wounds, like a stab wound and a slash, will not heal. The holy water gets into those, and it feels like rubbing salt into, like, if you peeled off your skin and stuck it in a salt jar. Like that. That's what it feels like just on their skin. Imagine that in your body, inside cuts. It's like rubbing salt, alcohol, sugar, and beeswax all into a wound after you peeled off your skin, dipping it in acid. It's like that. It's bad. And Izuku's passed out of just pure pain, and All Might goes, what do you mean, who did this? He's a demon. And that's when Lucifer snaps, grabbing All Might by the throat, choking him, going, he's no demon, he's my son. And All Might, after hearing those words, realizes who he's face to face with. And as he's about to snap All Might's neck, that's when his older brother, Mael, comes in, touching Lucifer's arm, asking him to stop, as this one does have an important role to play in their father's plan. And he goes, I don't care about what my dad wants. I will get revenge for what these humans have done to my son. As he's literally still choking All Might, who can't breathe, Mael draws his sword, putting it up to Lucifer's throat, going, if you don't stop, I will stop you. Lucifer smiles, going, if you think that tiny little blade will cut my skin, try it. And that's when Mael slits his throat, and Lucifer falls to the ground. All Might falls to the ground as well, on his knees, holding his neck, trying to catch his breath. And Lucifer sits up, holding his neck, smiling, and he goes, I'll let that one slide, since I don't want to cause another angel-demon war again. And he goes, I'm taking my son back. And that's when Mael goes, you can't. He took his leave. You can't take him back. I believe I said 8 years? Maybe 18? Either way, it's either 18 or 8 years. You guys remind me, because I completely forget. But he says he can't come back until he spends his time on Earth. And that's when he goes, after this incident, they'll try to execute him as much as possible. And after they realize his weakness is holy water, they will. And that's when he goes, we won't let them. We promise. And Lucifer goes, great. An angel's promise doesn't mean jack shit. And that's when, he gets slapped across the room by a giant golden hand. And we hear the voice of Almighty Fatherland God himself. Lucy, says God. Because that's his actual name, is Lucy. He changed it to Lucifer. I know, right? And he goes, if you dare threaten any living creature again, you will not see the light of day for a millennia. And that's when Lucifer goes, what do you mean? You're going to throw me back in purgatory? And that's when Maihao drags his sword out again, going, "Gladly." And Lucifer gets upset and goes, "If you promise no human will hurt my son again, I will walk away now." And that's when his father goes, "You have my word." And that's when Lucifer goes, "Yeah, your word doesn't mean anything, especially not to humans." As he walks through his portal, and All Might's sitting there. What the f... just happened? And that's when God's hand disappears, and Maya looks at him going, you see, yeah, so angels were real. My father God is real, and as you met, my older brother Lucifer, the first angel, is also very real. And right now he has a grudge towards you because you put holy water on his son. And All Might goes, "He's a demon." And that's when Maya goes, "Yes, he is, but not all demons deserve to die. Just like humans, they have a role to play. And they're living, thinking creatures, just like you." And that's when, he goes, "Yeah, well, he just randomly attacked at no point." And that's when he goes, "No, he didn't. His horn was torn off." To demons, that's like cutting off a human's male bottom half, or cutting an angel's wings off. It's disgraceful. It's like peeing on a corpse before burying it in lava, disgracing their entire being and their entire reason of living. And All Might goes, "So what? I'm just supposed to let this kid go?" And that's when Maya goes, "You have no choice. Either you let him go, or Lucifer decides to kill all of humanity. Again." And that's when All Might goes, "What do you mean, again?" And Maya goes, "This isn't the first time that Lucifer's got upset at you guys and decided to try to destroy the world. Remember remember Noah's Ark?" And yeah, Lucifer goes, not Lucifer, All Might goes, "Yeah, didn't God supposedly flood the planet?" And he goes, "No, that was Lucifer. He got upset because some human pissed in his drink when he was on Earth. So he decided to flood the whole planet. Luckily, God told a couple people, and they brought every creature that was alive, 2 of every creature, and put him on board." And he goes, "I was there, actually, during the entire thing, the flood and everything. It was not that good. A lot of humans died, and you pretty much started off at the Stone Age again. But enough with history. Let's talk about the future. This boy will be trained by humans, of course, to become a hero. Frankly, if anyone hurts him, we cannot stop Lucifer from ending all of your beings. As Lucifer is very protective over his family. I mean, you can tell because his loving personality says so. And All Might goes, "Aren't you his brother? He threatened to kill you." And he goes, "Well, me and Lucifer don't have that good of a relationship. The last time we saw each other, I stabbed him through the chest, banishing him to hell. So..." And All Might goes, "Oh." And he goes, "Yep. Lucy never really forgave me for that." And All Might goes, you and God both called him Lucy. Why?" And he goes, "Oh, that's his name. It's Lucy. It's not actually Lucifer. But he changed it to Lucifer because he hated being called Lucy. It's a personal choice. Frankly, I don't know why he disgraces himself by changing his name. But it's his body and his will, so he does what he wants. Yeah. And All Might pretty much erases the entire incident with Izuku. And pretty much all the students are, Ida's pissed. Uraraka doesn't know what happened because it happened too fast for her to even notice. Bakugo's worried that Izuku's going to try to kill her. And the rest of the class are terrified. All Might, he sits in front of the class and goes, "Okay. So, after the events that happened yesterday, and this is a new day, we will not be having any more fight training." And Izuku, who's sitting down behind him, behind the table, who's pissed off, holding his head, And the rest of the class is in the back of the corner, away from their seats. And All Might's a couple feet away from Izuku, shaking. And he goes, you probably all want answers. And that's when Ida goes, answers? I don't know. I want to know why he's not in jail. And All Might goes, let me explain. And that's when, Ida goes, explain? He nearly killed everyone. And he goes, exactly. See, that's pretty much his purpose in life. And that's when Ida goes, what? And he goes, yeah, so he's a demon. And the whole class pulls out their fingers and does the cross. No, And, he explains that if anything happens to Izuku, Lucifer will be very angry. And that's when, we hear Kaminari go, why the hell would Lucifer give a crap about a low-level demon? And that's when Izuku gets upset and rears his fangs at him, and Kaminari shuts his mouth. And All Might explains that this is Lucifer's son. And then the class realizes what he means. And he'll be staying here on Earth for the next 8 to 18 years. I think I said 18. It might be 8. I don't know. Correct me, please. Yeah, he'll be staying with us for blah, blah, blah. And the Yoshite attack happens. Izuku's in the front of the class. The rest of the class is behind him, a couple feet away, because they're kind of annoyed. They're still upset at him. Bakugo's walking close to him because she feels bad for pretty much causing everyone to hate him. Izuku doesn't blame her. He just, blames himself for being weak enough to let her grab his horn. And as he's walking down the steps, the portal appears. Aizawa, who's very injured, his arm is broken. He's just supposed to be there to supervise. All Might couldn't do his hero work at all because Aizawa was injured. And so he's already there. Everything happens except for All Might and the Nomu fight off way earlier. But, Izuku is, he's just kind of sitting there. And as Korogiri goes to teleport everyone, he grabs Korogiri by the forehead and puts him down on his knees, hitting him in the throat, knocking him out. Everyone thinks he just killed him. He didn't. He just knocked him out. He turns, looking at the Nomu, smiling, running up. The Nomu, and this is the Nomu's point of view, sees a black blur in front of him. And as the Nomu goes rocketing off through the sky, pretty much doing what All Might did at the very end, right at the beginning, before All Might could even get a hit on. Shigaraki is, shitting bricks. And Izuku then kills Shigaraki. And then this happens. We wake up in Bakugo's bed, and Bakugo's in a sweat. She's, terrified. And Izuku's standing over her with a black little lightning shooting from his finger into her forehead. And she's like, what the hell did you just do? And he goes, I created a situation from your mind, to see what you thought of me. Apparently you think of me as a monster. And she goes, that's not I didn't mean it to be like that. And he goes, no, you did. And walks away, laying down on the floor. And this is literally, we wake up like 4 hours after they got their entrance notice. And yeah, that whole thing was basically a big middle finger from me to you guys, because I could, and I thought it would be funny to make a whole what if of an episode that you get no progress done. And I will do the actual sports festival stuff in, not the sports festival, the actual USJ and Aizawa fitness test and the not cavalry battle, the hero versus villain battle in the next part. I'm leaving this off very short because I want to get to work on the next what if right away. So bye. Do my outro. I hope you guys had a good day. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stay safe. Hauser is leaving the building.